Espero que todos los que se encuentran hoy en este evento se encuentren muy bien en sus países. Mi nombre es Roberto Icazuriaga, como decía César, soy el director de pequeña y mediana empresa y empresas nativos digitales para Microsoft en Latinoamérica. Hoy les estoy hablando desde Montevideo, en Uruguay, también tomando ventaja de las bondades que nos presenta la tecnología de conectar con cada uno de ustedes a lo largo y ancho de las Américas. Voy a conducir esta presentación en español y para quienes hablen portugués o inglés la podrán seguir a través de las
So
traducciones.
here we go. We can keep up with translation. You can follow this in Spanish, English, or Portuguese. Let's go. Okay, then. So today, I want to speak with you guys about being connected, being safe online. So you who run small and mid-sized businesses, you guys you have been concerned about these topics. Let's begin by looking at something that has happened since the pandemic. Why is this so important today at this moment? So we know that most companies, look at this, more than 99% of companies in Latin America are small businesses, small and mid-sized businesses. So this shows us that this is an impact, you know? So we know
En algunos otros países
that
son
this is called pymes in a few countries in Latin America. You know, the guys call it this way. So this is extremely important in government, big companies, and we know that this is the ecosystem that we might imagine and consider. So not only for smaller companies. So I want to begin by telling you guys that when we speak of digital transformation and how we go through the pandemic, how we see the move from the pandemic, we see this and we look at, we are facing other businesses, we are facing other interests, the interests of others. They want to learn. Everyone wants to learn about new technologies and different concepts they can apply to their businesses. So obviously, I want to offer you guys. I want to say that I want to say I want to say congratulations to each and every one of you for being ahead. So we know that right now we find this to be extremely important. We know that I was looking at this. I was, after the pandemic, I was desperate, to see something. So recently here we had Formula One, So even though the pandemic, still there, and we knew that this was going on, and we knew that this was happening. I mean, companies might be operating or not, and we started having something. Live in Formula One. I went there. So since the pandemic, when the pandemic hit, for sure, I felt that, So last year, after 1 year, we saw that it was so special, The last championship, so Red Bull and Mercedes. I started reflecting, upon this. Why, when it comes to these, why are they so successful? What's the deal with that, So this is definitely a virtuous cycle. And we see and we find that there is competition, right? There is that element of how things are dealt with. So we know that they go as fast as they can to win. Huh? For those of you who know Formula One, when they go to boxes, in less than 3 seconds, they need to get fuel, they need to change tires, huh? Whatever it is, this as quick as possible. And this is important to complete it, complete this idea. So this means that for sure, we know that this is the circuit, this is the time that is considered. So we know that this is a big deal. And we see that there's a team of engineers. And this is important. I mean, there's a factory, there's a center of development. They are all thinking how to use technology the best way possible to win, to win the next season. And we see transformation, as you guys own your business. You operate your business. All of us, we take care of this. We want to do the best we can. We want to do it. We want to do it in such a way, at the end of the day, we can have the best result as possible. You know, all the time we might be looking at a few things that we may have, we may find, we may see it. We know that in every business we find ourselves in the sense of what's happening in my business. What is another market where it could be? Just like Kika told us earlier, when I get more customers, how can I bring concepts such as e-commerce, just like we were talking before, no? So I definitely want to leave you guys with this element of digital transformation, this element of how we see things happening, what seems to be the most important. You own a business, so you're doing a car race, that's for sure. You're racing. If you own a business, you're racing. And you're getting ready for those moments. And you're considering something for the future. I want to leave you guys with some of this, this analogy, this transformation. And this is what we have decided to do, decided to have. So let me get to something here. Let me get to something that has to do with this year. What are the priorities that we are, considering? So what is important? What is necessary? How can we be successful like we were before the pandemic? What can we learn from the pandemic? So in this sense, so then we know that we need to improve, we need to increase the amount of customers, right? And we need to know how to have this done. So we are, we are happy to be there. We are happy to do it. We are, content with how things are being done. And Microsoft offers solutions in this sense, so we can, so one can deal with how one can deal with their own businesses and how their businesses are dealing with the necessities of the market. So For some, it's more productive not to go to company. So for some, it's different, right? This has to do with this interest, right? That goes between a business owner and their customers and their employees. All of this is like how you apply, how you bring things together, how you do things. So we want to find new opportunities. We want to bring opportunities together, huh? We want to know. We want to offer priorities. We want to be able to do things, and we want to be able to offer that, huh? So as we consider digital safety is a principle, obviously, because we know everything has their risk. So we know that there is risk and we should tackle. First thing I want to say is that why is cybersecurity so important for small businesses? We see that security breaches, in particular ransomware, has increased 300% in 1 year. We know that this is definitely bigger companies and governments, but we know that most of them are small businesses and mid-sized businesses. Obviously, it's this way. It is this way because it is so important, right? So important to have it. So we know that this is a technology issue. It's a technology point, and we might consider that to be an external element. So it's very, very important that companies should be able to look at this, should be able to even automate this, so they can have necessary data. And this is what companies have to offer depending on their size. Huh? There's one more thing I want to offer you. Many of you probably know cases such as this. A big company or a government could be able to do things if they were able also to deal with such attacks. So we know that these things can disappear, they can change. These things can change the type of business that one is doing. For these reasons, for the cost of how sensitive this is, huh? There's a ransomware, there's something going on, huh? There is a cost, obviously. So for this reason, because it's so important, we consider this to be a very important aspect in business, all right? Okay, then, so how do we make it simpler? How do we simplify this? We see that at different levels, this can be complex to understand. So one might feel a bit lost there. So I want to offer you guys a little bit of my an idea on how to deal with this. So I will sum up in 3 aspects here, and these aspects for sure have their importance. Huh? It is, for example, the aspect of education, an aspect of what we find to be necessary in terms of digital security. And second and third, we're going to talk about technology, process, basic stuff, you know, and we're going to see that these processes, business processes, are extremely important, you know, in how we deal with this in our company. So it has to do then with education, processes, and technology. So let's begin by education there. So once again, no, to make it as simple as possible, as simple as possible, we're going to find a couple of important things that we should consider, you know, as business people and as people and as business owners. So this is happening to you, you know, and you should consider and have something get to you, you know. And so the first thing I want to tell you is click an image, a link, or something unknown. This could be for sure virus. It could be a virus. We know that. Second is similar, downloading unknown files. So we should definitely consider that because these can come and get to us. So we know that not updating these things, we should know that this is not only operational systems such as computers, notebooks, laptops, servers, also mobile phones. Mobile phones are also important, all right? One should know that this is the case. So we should know that this is the case. This is what's happening, such as Android, iPhone, and we should know that this has to do with whoever wants to protect their information, whoever wants to deal with things, you know. So this is extreme. Again, not only computer. This should consider also mobile phones, as there is also personal information there. All right. So I want to be able to talk to you guys about recommendations, easy recommendations, but we perhaps do not look at them the way we should look at them, as we should avoid them for sure. We should actually avoid them. So there are many of those. We're gonna find many of those strategies, you know, and we should consider. I mean, we call that phishing nowadays. And we should know, like, we should go through, for example, we should have updated antivirus. We should obviously avoid unknown websites. We should doubt if we receive an email from a strange email address. We shouldn't, you know, keep everything updated really. We should have a good and secure password management system, a way. We should definitely only purchase things in websites that are known to us. They should be HTTPS. We should not leave open sessions on the computer. Should avoid USB in public spaces. Should avoid communication systems when we are dealing with top secret, right? So confidential information. And if you're not sure, better not. So I mean, these are small things, right? Kind of obvious. Important that you all bring this to light. So you should definitely consider that that for sure. I mean, things are not. I mean, we know. I mean, it's important for the sake of. I mean, let me get to the next thing here. Then I'll get to the end of my presentation. So this is an example of Microsoft. This is the business premium option. So this is how it's done. This is what we should consider. There are three types of protection. So the first is access protection. So we should have, login, password. So we should know that if there's any other thing going on there, if for any issue, for any mistake, something might as well happen. So there is this concept of double authentication, right? So this is important. So we should know this is important to use this in one's company. So this is the element of double notification, what it allows for. So we know that if a person does not have that, it's going to be hard to access something. So these are security measures. The meaning of this is security. Then second is device protection, antivirus, all these things. So we are looking at what kind of systems we have, what we work with, what we deal with. So not only, the company itself, but also mobile devices. Finally, data protection. Very important, right? How to protect our data, especially when it comes to, sharing, sharing providers, anything of the sort. So we see that, we know that, and this is the point of data protection. So we know that these are concepts that come to us. It has to do with how we basically look at this. So imagine I feel far from this. I'm a business owner, my business is small. How should I look at this? Well, anyone can begin, even if you're not a business. If you're a natural person, you can start looking at this. You can definitely consider this. So this comes from a single individual until mid-sized company. So nowadays, you will see, right? Today, you will hear this from everyone, basically. Technology is in the cloud. So this means that anybody of any size can manage, right? Anybody from any size can manage these things. So if you are in the United States, if you are in Canada, in Europe, 5-10 years ago, this was not easy. But now, this is much easier. So one can use this technology, and there's no need to invest so much money. Having this kind of access to technology is indeed then extremely important. I want to get back to the beginning here, to the basic idea that this is a virtuous cycle of a business. We have to consider what we're doing at the moment. We have to know the next step. So we know that this is a risk. We know that. And as early as we can. We know that for sure with this, I would like to thank you all, and I appreciate you guys. You can see my LinkedIn there. You can look for me, and I'll be happy to connect with you guys. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, Roberto. Appreciate your presentation. Cybersecurity is such an important topic.
I highlight something that you mentioned, and sorry, I switched back in English. It's a bad habit. But you mentioned that one of the most important things about cybersecurity and how we think about it is that this doesn't impact just large enterprises. This can impact also very small businesses, right? And I think that's something that our SMEs need to keep in the back of their mind when they're doing business, as they're going into e-commerce, taking digital payments, etc. That this is something that can impact everybody. And oftentimes, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but hackers will try to go through a small operation to get into a larger enterprise, right?
Yeah.
As I understand, that's kind of like the how they tend to operate.
And the world, the world is interconnected, and we are interconnected. I'm sure that a good portion of the people that is listening today has enterprise customers or larger customers as their customers. They provide a service for a large company, they provide a service for government entities, and our security practices should also start being enterprise grade, because we connect with them. We have had cases where banks or large companies have been attacked through a provider that is one of us, a small company that was not protected. Of course, the bank or the large company has the responsibility to protect themselves, but the world is interconnected. We, as owners of small businesses, are connected with our end customers, are connected with other larger companies, with governments. Our employees are distributed right now. In the small, medium companies, employees are more distributed than in the larger companies, because we need all of them to be out there pursuing customers, out there distributing our products, out there connecting with our suppliers. So they are small and medium companies embraced mobility even before large companies. And while embracing mobility, we are more exposed to security threats. That's why it's so important for us to use these advices around security, and take advantage on the fact that technology is available for a small company as it is for a large company today.
Thank you, Roberto. Quick follow-up, a question that we received on the chat. So I'll read it in Spanish. ¿Qué se podría hacer cuando hay un ataque cibernético?
So what can we do if there's a very complex attack? Great question. First of all, one must be able to connect as quick as possible, look for help, support, So we know, right, that in any case, this has to do with stopping the attack as quick as we can. And next is to remedy the situation. We know that how this goes. So there are many types of attacks that might happen, but this is how it is, right?